That's what I wanted to do. I forgot. The BAMF from, is it Power Acoustic or Soundstream? Power Acoustic. The Power Acoustic BAMF is basically the same as the Majestic 15. It uses a 40 millimeter, pretty standard coil. This one got slinkied. Good cone, good spider. Looks like they use an inner cap as well, which is nice. Looks like a good 950 to 1000 watts. 1000 watts is a 15. The problem I see with it is that the frame is too good for it. So even on a woofer this strong, or heavy, I should say, you can use a stamped steel frame. And they probably should have used a steel frame. They would have saved, I don't want to say quite a bit of money, but a significant amount of money, especially if you're doing 1,000 of these or 2,000 of these. So, but the spider landing is too big for how short the motor is. They should have used a larger motor, like a triple stack. This would have been really good for the T5 motor that Soundstream makes, Epsilon. Epsilon is the parent company. And I'll check around to see if they use the same frame. This looks like the American-based Soundcubed massive. Is it massive? Yeah, massive. Same build house, which I think is Jin Linda. Also known as Ace. They may have resellers too, the build houses. Build houses will often have resellers where it's just like one, maybe two dudes, and they just do emails and pictures all day. So, and then they make a commission. So, but this is a really good frame. I really like it. You can even cut these out, and the only thing you worry about is strength under this landing, because then there's nothing supporting the landing. But you could cut them out to make it removable if you wanted to, but I'm not. And then I'll probably use it on a much bigger motor, just because it looks like a 9-inch landing, and then the rest of it is all pretty standard. It's very heavy duty. It reminds me of the woofer that I think I have one, the MTX 7500. Same thing. The frame is insanely overbuilt for the motor, and so the motor is about on par with what Power Acoustik did for the BAMF, but MTX used a 2.5-inch coil, which tends to have more BL because there's more windings in that same space with that same amount of magnet volume material, the amount of magnetic material that's in there. So, but this is a good blend. It's a really good motor, but it's better as a 12 or even as a 10. And then you can use a cast frame, which is exactly what I'm doing for Nabor Electric on this is his 10. So cast frame, we vented the bottom, and then I upgraded him to the 3-inch because I'm late. Original design was the 2.5-inch. And anyways, that's my review on the Power Acoustik BAMF. It's good, but don't pay a lot for it. So I got to see what the pricing is on these. Typically you should see them for, again, this is just guessing off the top of my head, anywhere from about 200 tops to about $150 dollars shipped. Because it's good, but it's not. It needs a bigger motor for that spider, and it's no wonder that the guy slinkied it. So, because it looks like it had a car crash. Get in there, car crash, and then slinky. So, but he got it pretty red hot to begin with. So, but again, that's just for this frame. Otherwise, I mean, it's a good motor. It's good enough. It does a good job. I'm sure they sold a bunch of them, and I do like that they spent a little bit of extra money on this tall. I think this is Tian Li, but I don't know. There's not much difference between factories anymore. So if you don't know, there's Tian Li. I'll put links to them so you can study them. Tian Li is one of the largest speaker parts manufacturers in the world. And then XY is by far the biggest, but their customer service sucks. So you don't want to deal with them directly. You want to use a middleman. Somebody like, who did I use? I think Ace had bugged me years ago. They're like, hey, we got really good woofers for you. And then they send you a picture of the woofer and you're like, hey, that's the Soundcubed, blah, blah, blah. And they just fuzz out the image a little bit. So, but that you just be aware, you want to go through Alibaba, because Alibaba gives you some sort of protection, not much, but some sort of protection. And you can pay with a credit card, which means, and typically a lot of credit cards will pay double points when you use Alibaba and AliExpress with your credit card. So, but just check with your card, bank, whatever they are. That was it. So that's my review on the BAMF. Good job, Epsilon. Again, I was Mr. Zabata. Years ago, this was years ago, I actually had paid a visit to, I actually did a whole, like, I went and saw Ibrahim at MA Audio, because I was doing design work for him, but he ended up going a different direction. And then I scooted on over to Apex Junior and got to meet him in person, which was great. And then I think the third day I scooted on over to Epsilon and got to meet Hugo. Yeah, Hugo Zabata, who's now the vice president of logistics, I think. He's basically the warehouse manager, but they let him have a side gig where he sells a lot of the B stock and stuff like that, which is he's been very good to me over the years, and he enabled me to buy pallets and pallets and pallets of SPLX and the XXX, the big SPL motors and things like that. So did a lot of really good deals with him, and he gave me really good deals on those as well, and so did Ibrahim at MA Audio. So, and if you guys really want to get started, that's really a better, more effective way to get started, is actually getting dead woofers from somebody else, because that's really the hard part. Everybody wants to order from China, and it looks tempting, believe me. The problem is when you get 100 woofers and they all have the same fucking problem. That's the deal killer. So, and then you're like, oh, shit, like I could have just gone down to the local Rockford dealer and bought, a lot of times they give them to you because they don't want them. A lot of times the companies will just have them field destroy. So, and if you recon a P3, that's a pretty good little starter one. But if you can get the bigger ones, that's where you get cool. And then you can, debadge them and things like that. So especially when you get, some like DS18 or SCAR or something like that, where it's not too hard to debadge it and create a new brand for yourself. So very, very low overhead. You can do it all part-time, out of your house and things like that. So anyways, that's my review for the BAMF from Epsilon. Love you guys. I'll put some links in the description.